the real estate market. On every forum that I read or view, everyone's talking about the real estate market. Now, the real estate market on the last lot of numbers that came through about a week ago looks pretty good. I think across Australia it's fairly segmented, and people are talking about WA and Adelaide being fairly strong, and they definitely are. The other thing that's probably fairly pertinent too is to understand that the lifestyles in both those states aren't as busy as the lifestyles in Melbourne or Sydney. And I think that might have a little bit to do with the migration sort of heading over that way, especially from the residual people leaving the states of New South Wales and Victoria. What I do know though, is that with the amount of migration that Sydney and Melbourne are getting, there is a dispersal still out into the regional areas. And one of the interesting stats, and a lot of people are very surprised with this, but one of the interesting stats that I find, say for every 100 people that migrate here, 30% of those get posted regionally with either federal or state government backing, and they're coerced to go out, whether they're medicos, etc., go out to regional areas. Half of those people never ever leave the first place they get placed at. So if they move to Sale, for instance, or Traralgon, there's a 50% chance that they'll never actually leave that area ever. So that's really good for the area. But what's happening now is with immigration staying fairly strong, we are guaranteed to a point where the market's got like a baseline that it really won't drop below. So when you see the market segment, yes, you will. In some areas like the Bellarine and also in Bass, down regionally, what you'll find is the market's dropped off a little bit, and some people say 10%, some say 20%, but it's sort of dropped off a little bit. That's purely because it's discretionary money. And I believe in this third quarter of this year, that will come back because a lot of the base stock product in those zones, in those regional zones, will be taken up by people immigrating to this country. Now, that's a fairly logical thought process, but when you view it across the hundreds of thousands of people that are moving here, it's pretty much guaranteed that that's going to happen. Now, if we take into account that the government and the RBA do have some connection in relation to what's going on, and that they are, to a certain extent, governing the rhetoric that comes out in the media, we know that interest rates will plateau, stay roughly where they are till the end of the year, and we do have a feeling, and it's only a feeling, that they may drop early next year. Inflation is going to be a factor with that, but I believe that for inflation to be adjusted and drop that quick, as we've had it done, I believe the market's fairly savvy in relation to the longevity of the economy, and people now are better educated and understand what takes place, and discretionary spending has dropped off. So if you're in the marketplace to buy real estate, I still think up until the third quarter of this year, there's going to be some really good buys. After that, you're going to be in a different field. If momentum picks up in the sales process, which I firmly believe it will, you will find that what you're looking at today that you think is expensive won't be. So my summation of all that dialogue is this, is that when people understand what the new normal is, they get back to their normal buying parameters really quickly because people love to buy asset.
I'm changing who I am. I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again. Yeah. You ain't see me activated. You better hope that you never see